Hey folks, it's John with KGTropicals.com, episode 8 of our video series, KG Q&A. If you want to get your questions answered in this series, right there is the email address. Send your question in. I've got 94 in reserve now, so I'm working my way through it. Going to try to do a few a week. And let's get to the first question. It is from Davey Garcia. I hope I'm saying your name right. Hi there. First, I want to let you guys know that I love your videos. Thank you, sir. I love them so much that I've decided to switch my community tank to a Peacocks and Haps tank. Attaboy. My question is, when I switch my substrate and add the new rocks for my rockscaping, does the tank go through the cycle process again? My tank has been established for more than 2 years. I would be leaving the same filter, which has all the good bacteria in it. I noticed when you added the substrate to your 240, you added the fish the next day. Well, I added a whole lot more than that. I added a new filter, I added a new background, I added new substrate, and I did not worry about the whole tank cycling again. I mean, it's a legitimate concern, but that's a big tank, and it has a lot of bacteria in it. You didn't say what size yours is, but you know, I mean, that tank's been running for a long time, just like yours, and with the sump in there, that sump provides a really big area for the growth of beneficial bacteria. Sorry about that, I just kicked the tripod. So I wasn't worried about it, and it didn't cause a problem. So it's not something that I would be over the top concerned about. Just go ahead and do what you're going to do, and you know, you'll be all right. Now, it is true you're putting brand new stuff in there that will need to develop bacteria on it, but the bacteria in your tank is built up enough to where it should be able to combat that if there is a problem with you know, the spike in ammonia or anything like that. I wouldn't worry about it too much. As long as you're doing what you say you're doing, keeping your filter on there and everything else, you should be fine. Nathan Dunn, hey John, love all your videos. I see from your first videos you started in your garage. I was wondering about heat. What did you do for heat in the winter, and will normal aquarium heaters keep the water warm enough? There's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can do it with individual heaters in your tanks, or you can heat the entire room. That's what we decided to do, was heat the entire room, because we figured, we never tested this, but we figured that the amount of electricity that it would take to heat the garage to 80 degrees, which we actually heated it to about 84, which kept the water at about 80 degrees, it was going to cost us less, it was going to consume less energy to do that than it was to have 120 individual heaters in the tanks. So that was just the way we decided to do it, and I do believe that, you know, most of your larger hatcheries out there do it the same way. You treat the whole thing, and that way, you know, all your tanks stay the same, and it's better on energy that way, and you're not having heaters break down and all that. It might sound ridiculous, but I think it actually is more energy efficient to use to heat the whole room. And that's what we did in the garage. We had baseboard heat in there that heated the place up really nice. Now, if you've watched my videos where I went to Discus Hans's fish house in Baltimore, I've been up there 100 times, but he heats his building to 96 degrees. It feels like a sauna in his place, and he does that because he wants to keep the water at 86 or higher to eliminate the possibility of ick ever coming into his place. It's smart, but I'm not going to put out on YouTube what he pays for gas every month. Ooh, it would hurt. So, but it is a better strategy to heat the entire room rather than heat every single aquarium. Daniel Zamudio, hello John, I know you made a video about the African cichlid white sand mix, but my question is, do I still need to use any buffer, or the sand is just enough like you say it in the video? Well, if that's what I said in the video, then I'm not trying to be a jerk, but if I said in the video that that's all I'm going to do, then that's all I did. I don't find that you need to add any more. Now, that's me. That's my water coming out of the tap. When you add to it the African cichlid mix and the pieces of aragonite and everything else that we put in there, it buffers the water fine for us. You might have well water. You might have well water that's extraordinarily soft water that comes out of the tap at a 6.0 pH. If that's the case, then you might need to add more buffers, or maybe some baking soda or something like that, you know, to increase your hardness and your pH. But it's really hard to say. But I don't have to add anything else to my tank to get the desired results that I need. But it's all going to depend on you and what your situation coming out of the tap is, whether or not you need to buffer any higher. Ryan Williams, hey, does Epsom salt and aquarium salt affect the behavior of African cichlids? In general, I add to my 125-gallon mixed African cichlid tank when doing water changes along with baking soda for my buffer. Same topic as the last question. I've gotten it down to a science where I'm not shocking my fish and they seem pretty happy. Although, when I do large water changes, I notice that it seems to trigger spawning and high aggression. Otherwise, behavior is pretty normal. Sorry if the question is too long or difficult. Thanks for all the helpful information, and I hope you can respond. Thanks a lot. P.S. Can't wait to order some fish. Looking forward to that too, my friend. Well, we got two different things here. Epsom salt and aquarium salt affect the water parameters. It affects the hardness. It affects the pH in your aquarium. When you're doing your large water changes and you notice a difference in behavior in your fish, that would happen whether or not you were adding these buffers or not. The theory is that it simulates rain. When there is a large temperature change, it sparks the fish. It ignites them, and it makes them happy, and it makes them feel good, and they feel fresh, and the males get fresh. So that is actually very normal. I don't think that behavior has anything to do with the buffers that you're putting in the water. It would probably happen whether you put the Epsom salt and baking soda in there. But how does it affect the behavior? It makes the fish happier. If your water calls for it, like we talked about with Daniel's question before, if your water calls for it, if you have a very soft water out of the tap and you're putting Epsom salt and aquarium salt into your tank and baking soda, did you mention baking soda? I don't know, but those are the three things that most people recommend to make your own buffer for buffering the pH. If you're putting those in there and you need it, then it's going to make the fish happier, because they're going to get to the water parameters that they really want. So, but I don't think the two are connected. Like I was saying, I think that your water changes are sparking that behavior because fish like water changes. It makes them happy. Clinton. I'm not going to say the last name because I don't know. No disrespect. I don't know how to say it. Hey, John, I was wondering if I got some angels, would my parrotfish attack them? I have 4 in my 55-gallon, and I want 3 angels. I didn't want to do research and wanted to watch your videos instead. That's cool. Another question, what do you feed your clown loaches to make them massive? Mine grew like maybe 1/4 of an inch in almost a year, and I thought they will be bigger. They share a tank with my parents. Final question. What would be a good, easy beginner fish to breed? Guppies aren't my type. All right, good grief. You got 4 or 5 questions in there. I've had parrots and angels together before. In fact, in this tank right here, a buddy of mine bought a 150-gallon, and he took it home, and he was building a new stand for it and everything, and he asked me to hold the fish here until he got his tank ready. And there was 3 big parrots. I mean, they were big. And 2 full-grown angels, and none of them had a spot on them. They got along just fine. So, you know, they should get along. Should be fine. Everybody automatically assumes that because parrots have red devil in them, that they're going to be really mean. I haven't noticed them to be mean. Have you seen the mouth on those fish? I mean, I don't even know how that fish could be mean with that pucker-looking mouth that it has. I've never experienced any mean parrots. And angels, you know, unless they pair off and they're going to spawn, they don't generally get really mean. So you should be fine. I've done it and it worked. It should be fine. Feeding clown loaches, I'm not an expert on clown loaches. It's funny because the same tank the same fish from the same guy. There was 4 wild-caught clown loaches in there, and I'm not lying to you, they were about that big. They were small, and they were like 5 years old. So, you know, I see these people that have these big clown loaches. I don't know how they got them there either. One thing I could recommend to you, Dustin did a video. He does his species Sundays. I think it's Sundays that he does them. He did one on the clown loach. Didn't he? Yes, he did. I think he did. Anyway, I'm either embarrassing myself or I'm right. Go over there and check that out. I'm pretty sure Dustin did one on the clown loach. It might have been the coolie loach. He might have done both. I don't know. Go to Dustin's channel anyway. He's a cool guy. I don't know him, but he's a cool guy. He's got a really cool channel. He's a lot of fun to watch. He goes a million miles an hour, and you can learn a lot from that guy. I'm pretty sure he's done a video on clown loaches. So, and in those videos where he does the species Sundays, he talks all about the fish, what to feed them, water parameters, all that kind of stuff. So, it's definitely worth a visit to watch his videos. So that's going to be it. 12 minutes. That's enough. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to do another one. We're going to probably do 4 or 5 of these today. I'm not going to upload them all on the same day, but I'm going to probably upload 3 of these a week. I'm going to try. They're doing really well. They're getting a lot of views, so I'm super excited about that. So, yeah, I'm going to get started on another one. So thank you all so much for watching. Get those questions in, because there's now 89 people ahead of you. So if you don't want to wait 6 months to get an answer, put your questions in now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.